Hi everybody, George Fokas. Thanks for watching. Recently, I was in Greece. I did an event, live event, and I placed 3 trades in my account in front of all the audience in my live account. And I want to share with you the results. A lot of people say, George, what are you doing? What are you earning? What are you making? So, in fact, this is a great video so you can see, if you really want to, and you're going to give me the time to sit and watch this, you'll get to see exactly what I made in this account. Now, it's all good to have a strategy that we make money with. But the biggest thing you need to understand is this, folks. The one thing I teach my students, and I've been teaching my students all around the world for over 18 years, is you need to have the right mindset. It's easy to make money, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're going to blow it very quickly. And you're not going to hold it long term. It's not about how much money you can make, it's how much money you can keep. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you will agree with that. So that's the reason why I'm doing this video. Now, it's going to be a little bit long. It's not going to be too long. But if you give me the time and you sit and you listen and you watch this, you're going to see the power of what I teach. And a strategy that I've been applying for over 24 years, a strategy that I've been teaching for over 18 years all around the world. I have students all around the world. And not only is this what you're going to see in my trading statement, live account, but these are the results that my students all around the world are generating. And the biggest thing you need to understand also is slow and steady wins the race. There's no quick fix. A lot of people say to me, George, you're investing in the stock market. Give me a hot tip. I want to make money. There's no such thing as a hot tip, and there's no such thing as making money very quickly. So just to get this out of the way, this is purely for educational purposes. I am licensed under an Australian Financial Services license to talk about the stock market, but it is general advice only. It's just purely sharing with you what I have recently done in my account, what the stock's done over a period of time, and what's happened. Because it's all great, we go into the market, we make money, but what happens in the market? And that's what I want to talk about. So if you give me the time today and you watch this, you'll get to understand a little bit about what we do. But I also teach my clients, as I said, about mindset, because we've all been conditioned to work for our money. I'm sure you agree, a lot of people go to work, they have to work before they get paid. So when do you see your return on your investment or on your time? At the end of the time. You've got to work a week, a fortnight, or a month before you get paid. People put money in the bank because with what's going on around the world, a lot of people say, George, I'm too scared to invest. I've got some money saved, I'm too scared to invest, I'm going to put it into the bank. But when you put your money into the bank, I can tell you one thing right now, most banks implement the strategy I've been applying for 24 years. And the money that you put into a bank because you don't know what to do with it, they use your money with a strategy that I'm about to share with you, and they make money off your money, and then they pay you a lousy interest at the end. And people say, George, I'm not into the stock market. It's not for me. It's figures. I don't understand it. It's too risky and all this sort of stuff. But would you agree with me that a lot of people who have these opinions, they've never invested, but yet they've got an opinion about the stock market? See, everyone's got an opinion, and what I'm trying to do as my plan and my goal in life is to educate people, change their opinions, inform them. I don't want them opinionated, I want them to be informed. So people say, George, I prefer property, and I love property, I'm heavily invested in property. People say, I'd rather invest in property, it's bricks and mortar, it's tangible, I can see it, it's there, I can renovate it, fix it up, sell it, do all that sort of stuff. But most people who go into property, when do they see a return on that investment? And I'm pretty sure you will agree, at the end. And then people do go into the stock market or into the markets. Now, the stock market is one market of multiple markets. People go into, the latest phase is Forex or Bitcoin, and people put their money in and they're waiting to see what they're going to do. And when do you see a return on that? At the end. So you work for your money, you get a return at the end. You put money in the bank, you get a return at the end. People go into property, they see a return at the end, either once the bank's paid off or if, they sell it for a profit. Or people go into the markets, and when do they see a return for most of them? At the end. The one difference between me and everybody else is my clients and I, we see our return at the beginning of our transaction from day one. So whether the market goes up or whether the market goes down, the profit, the income, the cash flow is paid into our account from day one, no matter what the market does. So let me ask you this. You invest your hard-earned money that you've worked hard for. Why? What do you want from your investment? I'm pretty sure you're going to say, George, I want money. I want a return. Do you want your return at the end like most people do? Or would you like to see your return paid into your account from day one like my students and I do? That's the difference. So I want to prove this to you. I want to show you my trading statement. It's live. I did it live in front of an audience. This is my trading statement. It's a live account. And figures tell facts. I can't make this up. So if you give me the time, you're about to see what I basically earned in this one account. So my trading statement has now come up on your screen. So you'd see this trading statement. Okay, this is my trading statement in one of the accounts. You can see the amount invested. You can see the date it went in. You can see the commissions and the brokerage, and everything is right there. The only thing I've covered are the stock codes, because legally I can't share with you the stock codes. So I have covered the stock codes. The people in the room saw it. So what I want to do slowly, if you follow me, I'm going to bring up some numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can see exactly what I'm referring to on the screen. And I'm going to write it up here as well, so you can also see. So on the 11th of July in Greece, in Thessaloniki, I did an event, 25 people in the room. I explained the strategy, a couple of hours, I explained the strategy, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to go live into my account. I've got 100 grand sitting in that account cash. Let's place it into the market. And within minutes, they were dumbfounded, and they saw not only the money going in, but they saw the income coming back into my account from day one. So whether the markets go up or whether the markets go down, my money is working for me. I've seen my return, and I can do whatever I want with that return. And I don't have to worry about what's the market going to do. Is it up? Is it down? Or any of that sort of stuff. So let's go through this. Number one is the stock. So remember, number one, we got 3 positions, 3 trades that I placed. Number 1, 2, and 3. You can have a look at the date on the 12th of July, because that was US time. So it was evening in Thessaloniki on the 11th, which was the 12th in the US. The market was open. I bought 500 shares of this particular stock at $24.63. So I invested, if you just have a look where number 4 is, and you have a look to the right-hand side of number 4, number 1, I invested $12,315. Now, I had to pay brokerage of $15. So the system will add another $15 to that, but I'm going to talk gross figures. Don't worry about the brokerage, because I can claim the brokerage as an expense. So 12,315 is the money that I invested, right? So number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, just so you can see the income now coming into my account. So number 5 to number 2, if you have a look at those 2 figures, you can see the date and the time exactly the same. On the 12th of July US time, at the same time, at 3:28:17 seconds, I've placed an order and I've made money. Now, I'm not going to go into how I make money. I create these contracts on these stocks that I'm buying. See, I'm buying these shares, these stocks, not because I love them. I've done my due diligence on them, and I'm using them as a vehicle to make money off them. Just like people use property as a vehicle to make money off it, I use the stock market as my vehicle to make money off it. See, a lot of people around the world, they're asset rich but cash flow poor. You can't eat capital gain, and you can't eat your assets. But cash flow you can live off and eat. So this is the purpose of me doing this strategy. It's all about cash flow, because with the cash flow, we can do whatever we want with it. We're not relying on governments. We're not relying on a job. So when you've got cash flow coming in, enough cash flow coming in, you can live off it. You can live the life you've always dreamt of. So let me share with you the results, so you can see the money going in, income coming back. So number 5, same time as my order going in to buy the stock. And again, I'm not buying that stock because I love it. I'm buying it to make money off it. Number 6 will tell you that I did a contract on that stock that expires on the 19th. So just so you can see this, 12th of July to the 19th of July 24 is when I got in. And the contract is up until the 19th of July. I have 2024, and I've done a contract at $25. So I've done a contract at $25. Now, I bought the stock for $24.63. I invested $12,315. Now, in fact, I'll write the price, $24.63, and I've done a contract at $25. That says, and this is what the contract says, just quickly. The contract says I'm agreeing to sell the shares that I've just bought to someone in the marketplace at $25 on the date of expiry on the 19th of July. So I bought it on the 12th, and I'm agreeing to sell my shares on the 19th at $25. Now, the person who's bought that contract that says to me, George, I'm happy to buy your shares on the 19th at $25, pays me a return on investment, number 7, of 51 cents. 51 cents, I bought 500 shares, that's $255. So I've made a return on investment of $255 on my 12 grand investment immediately from day one. And over the next 7 days, whatever that stock does, it doesn't matter, I've made money. So I've made $255 for a week. Now, if you work that out, let's do this. 255 divided by 12,315 as a percent is a 2% return. So in this instance here, I've made a 2% return for 7 days up front on my investment, no matter what the stock or the market does. Let's move on. Number 8 is the next stock I bought. Again, look at the time. Number 9, I bought 1,000 of these shares now, and I bought it for $27.90. So number 2, I invested Okay, where is it? So let's go to the second stock. I invested $27,900 into the market for the second trade, second stock. Okay, I bought 1,000 of these, and I bought them for, let's write that down, $27.90. I bought it for $27.90. I've done a contract. So let's have a look now. Go down to the bottom, number 12. You can see the date and the time exactly the same. So the moment my money goes into the market, immediately I've made my profit. I've made my income. I've made the premium. On the 19th of July is the contract. Go to number 13 on your screen. 19th of July, I've done a contract for $28. So again, 12th of July to the 19th of July, and I've done a contract at $28. That's the contract to sell the stock on the 19th. So 10 contracts, it's paid me 45 cents per share. I have 1,000 of these shares. I've made $450. So I've made $450 on that stock from day one, no matter what it does. So let's work that out. 450 divided by 27,900 as a percent is a 1.6% return. So I've made 1.6% on that stock for 7 days. Right? Not bad. When you think about the banks here in Australia and around the world, the banks here in Australia are paying what, 5-6% per annum, and I've just made a 2% for 7 days for a week and 1.6 for a week. So let's keep moving on. Number 15, another trade number 3. So let's go to that, trade number 3. On the same date, time, you can see that number 16, I did another 1,000 shares, right? Another 1,000 shares at 47.07. So I invested, in that respect, $47,079. Okay, $47,079. Now, again, let's move on. Number 19, you can see the date and time. Number 20, again, a contract for the 19th. So from the 12th of the 7th to the 19th of the 7th, right? Did a contract, again, to sell the stock at 48.47. My apologies, at 47, right? Here's the contract. Now, in this respect here, it's paid me $1.12, 1.129. So let's say $1.12. So I've made, in this instance here, I've made $1,129. So when you work that out, 1,129 on an investment divided by 47.079 as a percent, that's a 2.39. Let's just say, I'm going to round it up, say 2.4, right? That's a 2.4% return just for the exercise, 2.39. I'm just going to say 2.4 to keep it easy. 2.4% is what I've earned in 7 days. So let me ask you, let's work this out, just so you can understand how much money's gone into the market, what's my return. So let's collectively put these 3 trades together. So 12,315 plus 27,900 plus 47,079 equals, so realistically, I have invested, I'm going to put it over here, 87,000 US 294, right? This is USD, right? 87,294. Now let's just go back and let's look at the incomes that I've made for the week. So 255 plus 450 plus 1129 equals, so 1834. So I've made income 1834. So collectively on the 87,000, just so we can do this, 1834, divide that by 87,294 as a percent is a 2.1% return. 2.1% return for 7 days in total on my 87 grand US. I've made $1,800 for the week. So when you think about that, how hard are people working? Now that is US. If we convert it back into Australian, it's even more. But let's just talk, whether you look at it at 87 grand Australian or 87,000 euro, because the euro to the US dollar is roughly the same. So 87,000 to make 1,800 for a week, clicking some buttons. In fact, it took me about 3 to 5 minutes. I recorded it, so I've got the evidence. I recorded it, actually placing the trade and the time it took. So people can't say it took you longer than what you say because I've got it recorded. So $1,800 for a week on an 87 grand. Yes, I understand you're going to need 87 grand to get that return. But let me do this. You can take a 0 off the equation to start with. And on 8 grand, you can make 183, right? The more zeros you put in, the more zeros you pull out. So let me ask you this. How many of you would like an extra $1,800 or $183 on an 8 grand investment? Because let me ask you this. Where else can you put $8,700? If you had 8 grand or 10 grand Australian, where would you put it? Or euro, 10,000 euro, where would you put it? Can you put it into property? No, you can't. Can you put it into a business? No, you can't. You're going to either put it into the bank or you're going to leave it at home. But if I could show you how to make an extra $100 on your 8 grand investment for a week, 7 days, your money's working for you, isn't it? And when you see your 8 grand working, you're going to think differently to go, you know what? Something is finally working. I'm getting my return from day one. I don't have to wait for the markets to do something for me to make a profit because my profit's paid into my account from day one. I can save more. Right now, and I'm not saying for you to do this, but right now I have students who are selling their houses because they've seen the results to put money into this. And I'm not saying to do that, but this is what some of my students are doing. I've had students who have sold their cars and their motorbikes to have more cash. Because when you see something work, you'll find money. When you don't, you'll find excuses. Right? It's very simple as that. Now, let's go back to this before I finish up. Just so you can understand. Trade number 1 on the 19th closed above $25 and I sold the stock. So, not only did I sell the stock, in fact, come back up to the screen. Number 22, on the 19th of July was a Friday. Nothing happens in the stock market on the Friday. On the Saturday, the next day, is when the stock market looks at all these contracts, all these agreements, and exercises them and implements them and cancels them and does whatever needs to be done. So number 22 on your screen, on the 20th of July, you can see minus 500. I've sold my shares to the market at $25. So not only did I make a return from day one, I've now also made some capital gain. So because I bought the stock for $24.63, you can see number 4 on the screen and number 23. I bought it for $24.63, but I sold it for $25. I've made capital gain. So in respect of this trade, I ended up making just under 3%. What happened to the second trade? Number 24. On the same day on the Saturday, that stock, as you can see, $28 was sold. The stock closed above $28. I got $28 back because that's what I've agreed from day one when I did the contract. So I made an extra 10 cents. Not much. Still made the 1.6. It was about 1.8 or 1.9, whatever it is. Something is better than nothing. And I'm pretty sure all of you will agree with that, right? Because how would you feel when you start to see your money working for you and you can be anywhere around the world and you don't have to deal with anybody, you don't have to talk to anybody, you don't have to sell pills, potions and lotions, and you don't have to knock on people's doors to try and do deals? How would you feel when you're just clicking buttons on your computer and your money's working for you from day one and you know what you've made for the week and then you can enjoy the week and you don't have to worry about when money's going to come in to pay your bills? So 1.6% plus a little bit more is what I made. That sold. But this stock here didn't sell. And this is very important for you to understand because not everything's going to go up. The market goes down and trades and stocks go down. And what do we do, George? This is all great. But what do you do when a stock goes down, which is exactly what happened here? So let's remember the price of $47.09. I bought the stock for $47.09. I want to write this down. I bought the stock for $47.07. My apologies, $47.07. I had a contract at $47 and it paid me $1.12. Right? I'm looking at number 21. Paid me $1.12. I agreed to sell it at $47, but the stock at the end of the week went down to $45. Just over $45. Stock went down. Do I panic? Do I freak out? Do I go, oh my gosh, it's gone down? No, because the biggest thing you need to realize and understand when it comes to investing in the markets, depending on your strategy, because 95% of people who trade the markets are gambling, waiting for the markets to go up on the hope to make a return. I don't want to gamble my money away. I don't want my students gambling their money away. I don't want to invest on the hope. I want to invest with certainty that I know that if I put my money into the markets, I'm going to earn something because something is better than nothing, right? Stock went down. I still own the stock because people will say, but George, you bought it for 47, it's now 45, you've lost money. You've only made $1, but it's dropped 2. You're behind. I'm not behind because I still own the shares and I've still made money that's physical liquid that I can use to do whatever I want with, that I can live off or reinvest. But people go, no, you've lost money. Well, I haven't lost money because let me explain this to you. If you went and bought a house for $1 million, let's just keep the numbers easy. If you bought a house for $1 million and a year later it's worth 900, have you lost 100 grand? And I'm pretty sure you're going to say no because I still own the house, correct? If you rented the house over the 12 months and you made 40 grand from the rent, is the 40 grand physically in your bank account? And you're going to say yes. Have you lost 100 grand? No. If you sold the house today, you would be down 60 grand. Your house has dropped 100, you've only made 40. If you sold, you would be down 60 grand. But you haven't sold. What are you going to do now? If the tenant moves out 12 months later, you've made 40 grand, what are you going to do? Put another contract in place, rent it out again for another 12 months. Who cares what the value is? Because you didn't buy it to sell it immediately. You bought it to hold long term, to use as a vehicle to give you an income. Now, this has nothing to do with property, but let's go back to the stock market. I bought the stock. I've put my money into the market. I don't know what it's going to do in a week or in a month or in a year, but my money's gone in because I've done my due diligence on that stock, and that stock I know is going to give me a return. Because if I put that money into a bank, I have to wait 12 months to see a return. But I've waited 7 days and I've made a 2.4% return in 7 days. And that's from day one. Whereas if you put your money in the bank, you've got to wait 12 months to make 6. I've made 2.4 in a week. So think about how many more weeks I've got ahead of me to make how much more money on that investment, even when the stock goes down, compared to what the bank's going to pay me. And then when we look at property, and if you tell me, George, I'd rather put my 80 grand as a deposit into a property, great. What's the property going to pay you in a year? What's the rental return your property will pay you on your 80 grand in a year? You'll probably say, George, I'll make 3, 4, 5% in a year. I've just made 2% in a week. So realistically, I need to do one more trade on that whole capital to outdo your property, if you want to look at it that way, over the next 11 months. Do you think I'm going to be ahead of you? Most likely. But then you're going to say, but George, the stock can go down. Absolutely it can. But this is what you need to understand, folks. The market moves up and down, and you've been conditioned, and people have been conditioned, that the only way to make money is if the stock market goes up. But what I'm trying to teach people is, whether the stock market goes up or down, we can still make a return. Because our capital, our money is in the market. But what do we want off it? A return on investment. And if you see your return on investment from day one, how would you feel? That you know your money has made you something. Something is better than nothing. $1,000, $2,000 a week is not going to make you rich. You're not going to retire, but it can help go towards supplementing a partner's income, paying down a home loan, a credit card, a car loan. It could help, even if it's $100 a week, $100 or €100, right? Something is better than nothing. So the stock goes down. I just want to point this out to you. Please come down now. So stock number 2 at 26 and 27. Okay, stock number 3, my apologies. Stock number 3 at 26 on the same day, the contract's expired. Go to number 27, which is on the far right-hand side. Number 27 tells me that that contract, EP, has expired. It's closed and it's expired, which means the stock went down. Okay, the stock was not assigned. So therefore, I know stock's gone down. I still own the shares. I've still made the money, the $1,129. I've still got that in my pocket for the week. What do I do now? Well, this is what I teach my students, how to evaluate the markets. Look at the markets, what's going on in the markets, but what's going on with this stock? Why did it go down? And then what do we do? Because people say, George, if your stock goes down, where do you do a new contract? Because you don't want to be selling it for a loss, correct? So have a look at 28. And this is very, very important for you to understand. So please, can I get all of you just to look at 26 and 28? Look at the dates. So you all know I had a contract that expired on the 19th. But on the 20th of Saturday, these contracts and the stock market does everything. But I was in Greece. I was on holidays. I was enjoying the beach. It was 40-something degrees with my family on that day. It was the day before I left to come back to Australia. So 21st, I jump on a plane, I come back to Australia. 22nd in the evening, I'm in Australia. The 23rd is my wife's birthday. So, running around doing all that sort of stuff. 24th, I'm now getting back into the swing of things. I'm depressed. It's cold in Sydney, and I've just left beautiful Greece, 40-degree temperatures, and so the 24th, 25th, I'm not doing anything. Then on the 26th, I decide, I need to place a trade. I need to log into my account. I haven't done anything. I have to look. So a week later, my money's just sitting there doing nothing. And then people go, oh, but, it only takes a couple of minutes to click some buttons and you're making money. Why didn't you do it? Because I had other things. It doesn't matter. I park my money sometimes because it works hard for me. Give it a break. Let it have a rest. So on the 26th, I go back into the market. So have a look. So on the 26th, look at number 28. So I now do another contract. which expires on the 16th of August, 2024. So now I've gone back in, I bought it for 47, I've done $1.12, stock's gone down, it's around the 45, I go back into the market and I do another contract at 47, which expires on the 16th of August. So from the 26th of July to the 16th of August, roughly 3 weeks. So I've done another contract for 3 weeks, pays me 90 cents. Now, in this respect, I've got 1,000 shares, so 90 cents per share. I've made another $900 for 3 weeks. It's not bad. It's $300 a week over 3 weeks, just clicking some buttons. But bear in mind, I've also made $1,129 here. So when you look at all that, 1,129 plus the 900, I've made a total of $2,029 for the month, for a month. I'll just write a month, right? So I've made $2,000 for a month on a 47.79 investment. So let's work that out. 2,029 divided by 47.079 as a percent. In total, folks, I've made a 4.3% return for a month on a stock that's gone down, and at the moment it's still down. It's around the $46 mark. Who cares? I bought it at 47. Who cares? If the stock stays down on the 16th of August, after that, the contract expires, I go back in, I do another contract. I evaluate the markets, I do another contract. Why is my 47 grand in the market? To give me cash flow. Because I can live off that, you can eat that, and you can live off that. The money's invested in the markets. If your money went into a property and your property went down, what do? Your money's in there. It's locked in there. But what do you want off the property? A return on investment. My money's in the market. Stock's gone down. What do I want? A return on investment. But do you want to wait for your return on investment, or would you like to see it up front so then you can budget with it? Because I know now $900 is in my account. Whatever happens in the markets over the next 3 weeks, I've got the $900 sitting in my account. Now, if it was $9,000 on a 470 grand investment, so let's just add a zero. So let me ask you this. If you had 470 grand, I'm adding a zero to the equation, you would be making $9,000 for 3 weeks on a 470 grand investment. You would have made 11,290, adding a zero. You would have made 11 grand on a 470 grand investment for a week, plus another 9 grand for 3 weeks. So that's 20 grand on a 470 grand investment. Let me ask you this. If you went and put 470 into a property, what would be your return for the month? Now do you see the bigger picture? So, these are 3 of my trades right now. This contract is up until the 16th of August. The other 2 trades were sold. Capital back in my account, profit back into my account, capital gain back into my account. Move on, do some more trades. I hope you enjoyed this video. This month, for the month of August, I'm doing some live masterclasses. If you are interested to learn more about this and the nuts and bolts of all this, go to my website, focusbeyond.com. Click on the masterclass, register, sit and listen. It's a 4-hour masterclass. I'll be honest with you, it's 4 hours. And people go, 4 hours, that's a long time, George. But people sit 4 hours in their couch watching Netflix. And they go, 4 hours have passed, wow, and they haven't learned anything. They've just wasted time. But in 4 hours, I can teach you how to make your money work for you. It's up to you if you are interested. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Take care. If you've got any comments, please put it down. And I'll let you know on the 16th of August what happens to this trade. And then the new trades that I'm going to place, I'm more than happy to share them with you. But not the actual stocks, just the results. Okay, but it's not only what I'm doing. You'll get to see now that I'm back, because I have been a bit quiet because I was away. You'll get to see my students' results over the last 2-3 months of what they've generated while I've been on holidays and away with my family. And it wasn't just holidays, I was actually working as well and doing seminars and meeting my students and all that sort of stuff. But you know what, I call it a holiday because every day is a holiday for me when my money's working for me. Every day is a Sunday. I love it. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless you all. And I hope to hear from you. And I hope to see you in my masterclass. And hopefully I get to see you in the community so I can teach you how to grow. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.